What it do, my Hoopers? I am your host, Chase Senior of Chat Sports. Give me a follow on Twitter and IG at Chase_Senior. Coming up, NBA free agency day 2. A lot of questions to get to. Part of the beauty of what we do here at Chat Sports, we involve the audience. We like hearing all of your hot takes, all of your questions, all part of our mailbags. Let's kick off this mailbag with this $5 super chat from Steve Peterson. Are the Wolves going to do anything? You can't tell me. Prince is the highlight of this offseason. Yeah, they traded for Taurean Prince. That's been about it. They didn't have a single draft pick in the 2021 NBA draft. I honestly think that the Wolves are pretty content with where they are. They made that coaching change last year. I think they're happy with that. And with the young core of D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, Jarrett Culver, I think they do have some solid young pieces, but yeah, they've been pretty silent, and because of that $5 super chat, I'll sip a beer. Let's move on to this question from Malik Tool. Hopefully I said that right. Kawhi to the Knicks or Golden State? I just don't see Kawhi Leonard leaving the Clippers. I think everything is set up for him nicely there. Just invested in property in Los Angeles. He sometimes commutes from his hometown of San Diego, takes a helicopter to Los Angeles, although he doesn't do that much anymore because of what happened to Kobe. RIP to the Mamba. And look, Ty Lue, top 5 coach, in my opinion. Paul George, a bona fide number 2, at times can be a number 1, and honestly, sometimes more consistently available than Kawhi Leonard. Nick certainly on a sign-and-trade basis, even if they wanted to go after him in free agency, although they've made a bunch of those moves. If it's a sign-and-trade, they have the draft capital and player assets to give up for Kawhi Leonard. I just don't see it happening. And Golden State is so deep into the luxury tax right now, I honestly think it would take like James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, maybe even Jordan Poole, all to get Kawhi Leonard. And for the Clippers, does it make them that much better? I don't think so. Joey Patton, do you think the Cavs will be contenders if they retain Isaiah Hartenstein? I like what the Cavs have done in the draft. They've been somewhat silent in NBA free agency, with the exception of signing Jarrett Allen to that 5-year, $100 million contract. The Cavs have a very intriguing young core for me. Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen. That starting 5 in terms of youth, potential, upside, very good. As for the rest of their roster, certainly some questions there. I think they got to get rid of Kevin Love. Can they come to an agreement on a buyout? I think that's something that could also happen during the NBA offseason as well. $2 super chat from Daniel Nersesian. Apologize if I butchered that. Beal for Monte Morris, Bol, Zeke, Najee, second and a first. Not going to get it done. Bradley Beal is one of the premier scorers in the league. You got to give up multiple first-round picks and multiple immediate player assets with lots of potential to get a guy of that caliber, and Bradley Beal has refuted any rumors that he wants out of Washington, D.C. He wants to stay in the nation's capital as of now. John Anqui, Oubre Jr. for Lauri Markkanen. In terms of big man fit on the Warriors, it's not awful. Now, both are restricted, or Lauri Markkanen, is a restricted free agent. Kelly Oubre, an unrestricted free agent. So, yes, it would have to be a sign and trade for that to happen. That's why you proposed that question. Sorry, I've been live for 4.5 straight hours. I don't know. I mean, would the Bulls want Kelly Oubre? Now that they just gave DeMar DeRozan $28 million per over the next couple of seasons, I don't think they have the money to give Kelly Oubre $15-20 million annually. So I'd probably shoot that down. But Lauri Markkanen on the Warriors, I do like that fit. A lot of NBA free agency winners so far. Which team are you most impressed with during NBA free agency? Throw those teams in the comment section right now. Just start flooding the chat. Let us know which team you are most impressed with during NBA free agency. For me, like what the Heat have done, like what the Lakers have done, there's a couple of other teams across the NBA that have impressed me. New York Knicks have to be thrown into that list as well. I think the Golden State Warriors have redeemed themselves. Those are a few that come to mind. John, how much time does this Lakers squad have to win a championship, before it inevitably falls apart? Here's the thing with the Lakers moves. if you're looking at these moves saying, the Lakers in 5 years are screwed, I don't care. Because if I'm Rob Pelinka, all I care about is the next year or two. And if we win another championship, then I'm cool with that. That's straight for me. So the thought process for LA, LeBron James is 36. He's soon going to be 37. Anthony Davis is somewhat brittle. We're not sure how he's going to age over time. If you want to deny that fact, you're just an Anthony Davis truther. Can't come to the realization that he is injury prone. The Lakers are going all in on this upcoming season, which I think is smart because they're maximizing their ability to win a championship right now. Wamik Ali, we are seeing a bunch of hard names to pronounce. Hopefully I'm at least batting 500 right now. What moves can the Mavs make right now? They don't have a bunch of money left to spend, so I'm not sure which moves the Mavericks are going to be able to make. I would like to see them address point guard. I like Jalen Brunson, but maybe as a secondary point guard. I think he's been really good for the Mavericks. Could you bring in Goran Dragic? I think that could be in play. Spencer Dinwiddie might be a little bit too expensive. I just want to see another creator aside from Luka. When you think about other point guards who aren't going to cost that much, a guy like Ish Smith, he could push the tempo, he can create, he can get to the cup, he can find some open guys. So those are some of the names that I'm thinking of right now. $5 super chat from Jay Rogers. Leonard will stay with the Clips. 2-year deal, $85 million, player option. The reason max after 5% money raise in 2 years, then take his max with the Clippers this. Very hard to kind of make out what you were trying to say. If you're predicting that Leonard is going to stay with the Clippers, I do think that's going to be the case. Is it going to be for 2 years, 85? Jay Rogers, if it's that exact deal, I'll Venmo you $5. How about that? I do think Leonard goes back to the Clippers, though. I just think it makes the most sense. Shadow Symphony. I'm back. Kevin Love to the Lakers on a buyout? I'm not ruling anything out. The Lakers, Rob Pelinka, LeBron James, this front office, they have been so aggressive, and I think they've been smart in doing so. Financially savvy. I think players have been willing to take pay cuts in order to chase a ring. That's been very, very evident over the last 2 days. Could Kevin Love be the most recent? There's certainly a need at center. Cool guy, $2 super chat. Who's taken a fat discount to play with the Clips? Everybody has taken a fat discount to play with the Lakers. And the Clippers are like the redheaded stepchild in Los Angeles to the Lakers. And everybody's going to the other team in the Lakers. And that's not good news for the Clippers because I like what they did in the draft. And if they can bring back Reggie Jackson, I think that'd be a great free agency acquisition to retain him. But I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot of players taking a fat discount to play with the Clippers. I know I just mentioned Ish Smith. Like, the trade for Rajon Rondo was just okay last year. Worked out in moments, other times not. Ish Smith could be a guy who gives you a little bit more at point guard. Subscribe to Chat Sports. Last night we surpassed 260,000 subscribers, and now we're trying to get a milli. You know what I mean? YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV, or hit that red subscribe button down below. If you want the best and free NBA news and rumors, live shows, like we go live for just several hours at a time, Chat Sports is the spot to go, man. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Very fun, interactive YouTube channel. Also very informative. I also have to drink because I had a couple of $5 super chats, and we also like to go hard here. All right, let's get to this $2 super chat from Crispus Addicts. Just a $2 super chat, showing love. My guy. I guess I'll just drink to that. Chase Clemens, nice name. What else should the Miami Heat do in NBA free agency? Look, I think they're set. I think they've made a lot of moves. They don't need to make any more moves. This roster projecting to be very good. Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, PJ Tucker. You lose Trevor Ariza and Andre Iguodala. Kendrick Nunn now on that list because that move just happened a little bit ago as we're recording this during our live show on Tuesday during free agency. I think the Miami Heat are in a really good spot. I mean, you still have Tyler Hero. Haven't mentioned him. You still have Bam Adebayo. Heat killing the game right now. $3 super chat from Malcolm Drayton. Just showing some support for the show. I actually want to see where we're at in super chats. 473.28. If we get to $500 in super chats, I'm bringing in people on the live show. If we get to $500 in super chats, I'm bringing multiple people on the screen here, and we're taking shots because I want to introduce you to some of my friends. $3 super chat from Crispus Addicts. What's Toronto going to do? Kind of retool, continue to rebuild. Really interested to see how Scotty Barnes works out. I like Scotty Barnes as a prospect, watched him a lot. Basically, he does everything well except for shoot the basketball and score, but has a really good work ethic. I think he's going to be able to develop that over time. The Toronto Raptors and the Miami Heat, two of the best organizations of developing young talent, and I think they're going to be able to develop Scotty Barnes. I personally would have went with Jalen Suggs. You lose Kyle Lowry. I thought Suggs would have been a good replacement. You bring back Gary Trent Jr. Still some good pieces on that roster. Bless you, Producer Jack. Another $2 super chat from Pierre Hines. What do you think of the Bulls' chances in the East? If they don't make the playoffs next year, the Bulls should sell the franchise because this team is way too talented to not make the playoffs. This roster, especially their starting five, is very good. And then even you look at the bench pieces, like if you hold on to Kobe White, he's coming in off the bench, that's a guy who can average 13, 16 points per game. So the Bulls, with a starting lineup of Lonzo Ball at the 1, DeMar DeRozan at the 2, Zach LaVine at the 3, Patrick Williams at the 4, Nikola Vucevic at the 5, I think they're in a really good spot. Another $2 super chat from Kaio0. What do you think the Bulls do with Lauri? He's a restricted free agent. I think there's going to be another team that's going to offer him a nice contract, and I think Markkanen is going to walk. There were some rumors and rumblings about this eventually being the case when they traded for Vooch, because I'm just not sure you play them as the 4-5 option on your roster. Also, they're not great defensive players. So if you do try to pair up Vooch and Markkanen, those are two big men who don't give you a lot defensively. It's really just not a great fit. I appreciate that question. Mad Matt, $5 super chat. Got to drink to that. How does this Lakers team stack up against Kobe, Nash, Dwight, Kobe, Shaq, Malone, and Gary Payton? Is Marshall Green, can Marshall Green hear me? Would you rather take this Lakers team or the team we were talking about last week with Gary Payton, Karl Malone, and Kobe? He said, just because it's Melo, this year's team. So I'm riding with Marshall. $2.99 from Jameer CP. Any news on Lou Williams, a.k.a. two girlfriends? Does he have two girlfriends? We know him as Lemon Pepper Lou. I don't know him as two girlfriends Lou. Magic City Lou is his other nickname. Jameer CP, I think he's been watching us for all hours of our NBA draft and free agency coverage. Appreciate you, homie. Crimson Tears 54. Next move forward for the Spurs. Look, Josh Primo at 12 didn't make any sense to me. Does that signal that the rebuild is on in San Antonio? Potentially. Doug McDermott, though, that's a win-now move. And you're giving him $14 million per. So that didn't make sense to me. Zach Collins, as I have some beer burps, was a little bit confusing for me as well. Honestly, you're asking me that question, and usually I can talk for many minutes about anything, right? I am kind of speechless about the Spurs. I don't know what their next move is. I don't know what their plan is. And really, I don't know what they've been up to the last couple of years. Given what everything the Miami Heat have done in the first 2 days of free agency, do you think they're contenders? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Be sure to get those votes in the comment section down below. I think it's easy to say yes. Miami Heat, no doubt contenders in the Eastern Conference.